Day 69. A high-level meeting between Israel and the USA took place at the Kiryat in Tel Aviv tonight. Prime Minister Netanyahu, Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, War Cabinet Minister Benny Gantz, IDF Chief of Staff Lieutenant Colonel Herzi Halevi, Shas Head Aryeh Deri, National Security Advisor Tzachi Hanegbi, Netanyahu's Chief of Staff Tzachi Braverman, Cabinet Secretary Yossi Fuchs, and Israel's ambassador to the US, Mike Herzog, were at the meeting, with US National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan and the US President's Special Envoy to the Middle East, Brett McGurk, the Special Envoy for Humanitarian Affairs, David Satterfield, and the US Deputy Ambassador to Israel, Stephanie Haller. At the meeting, they discussed the continuation of the war until victory and the achievement of the common goals, prioritizing the elimination of Hamas in Gaza and the release of all the hostages. They also discussed continued humanitarian aid for civilians in Gaza, the threat posed by Iranian proxy Hezbollah in Lebanon, and the Yemen-based Houthi threat to southern Israel. The US, concerned about the conditions for civilians in Gaza, has been pressuring Israel to end the war as quickly as possible. Israel, for her part, says that we need at least until the end of January to meet our goals. President Joe Biden has been unswerving in his support for Israel in her right to rid Gaza of Hamas, acknowledging that doing so is a matter of self-defense. There are, however, major differences of opinion between Prime Minister Netanyahu and Biden on the day after. The US insists that a reformed Palestinian Authority will rule Gaza. Netanyahu says that he will not have Hamastan or Fatahstan on our border. As ground operations continue in Gaza, the Air Force has carried out more than 500 airstrikes in the Gaza Strip this week that were directed by ground forces. These airstrikes, carried out by fighter jets, attack helicopters and drones, have been led by the IAF's Cooperation Unit 5620, which coordinates operations between the IAF and ground forces during maneuvers. This cooperation has enabled the IDF to eliminate terror cells, destroy observation sites, weapons depots, tunnel shafts, and many more terror infrastructures to deprive capabilities and deal blows to Hamas. The IDF says that after 60 hours, it has wrapped up its counter-terrorism operation in the northern West Bank's Jenin and adjacent refugee camp. IDF troops scanned hundreds of buildings, arrested 60 wanted Palestinians, and seized 50 weapons and hundreds of explosive devices. Troops also found more than 10 tunnel shafts, 7 labs used to manufacture explosive devices, and 5 war rooms used by local terror operatives to monitor IDF operations. Some of the sites were blown up. During the raid, the IDF carried out 2 drone strikes against groups of armed Palestinians, hurling explosive devices and shooting at troops. 10 armed Palestinians were killed during the raid, including 7 in the drone strikes, and others were wounded. 7 IDF soldiers were lightly wounded in the operation. This is Peta Jones-Pellach reporting for NCJWA, Australia.